Well, I just was at the grocery store, and I just wanted to know how things are in your neck of the woods as far as this global, greedy, one world order hiking the prices of meat so that we can't afford the meat, and especially those who are, in a transition situation such as myself and many others that, are just really struggling with basic groceries and stuff, but just the meat. I mean, the greed of these companies is so bad. And I think that the Congress needs to do something about the price hikes that are outrageous. Anymore, you cannot even go to even a fast food place. You're spending like nearly $4 for one Coke or whatever you drink. I don't know. It's really outrageous. And sometimes a cup of something to drink is more than actual food. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's all corporate greed. But you're just not going to believe this. I mean, the prices here in Colorado are super high. Everybody pretty much knows this. And I just got 4 items, and it cost $12. So I got a large can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. I got a small can. It's smaller than the small can, but it was tomato puree. And I got a half and half bottle to mix with that so I can make my own tomato soup. And I got a package of cheese, and I believe that was it. And that all costs $12, $13, somewhere around there. So you can see why it's just so hard to make it as it is without, falling into a pit before you get out of the pit. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. For those of you who did not know what my circumstance was, my mother suddenly passed away unexpectedly within 5 months of getting heart failure. And that meant our lovely family home had to be sold. And everything had to be moved out quickly and speedily and orderly. And people made lies about me that didn't have anything to do with what was really going on inside myself. But nevertheless, I found myself without our family home. My mom wanted me to live with her because, of both of our situations, and we wanted to live in the same place together. So I took care of mowing her lawn and trimming her trees and planting shrubs and whatever, flowers, landscaping work, and anything around that needed fixing, like plumbing or you name it, laundry stuff, just anything where she needed help. And so I moved into a place for 10 months, which I didn't really even live there, but, was forced to do so. And at that time during COVID, the people decided to sell the place out from under me when my lease came up, because they wanted to sell it. And I think I found out pretty much later that they started working on the road right outside of that place. And so it really tore up the major thoroughfare that went past it. But the only place to go was to the hotel. So that's what I did, and I wasn't expecting to stay and stay and stay, but that's what wound up happening. And then in 2021, my dad's mother passed away. So that's when I went to Texas to her memorial, and I've been trying to catch up on paying off the rental car. And that's been, not too easy, you know. I wound up staying there because I just couldn't come back. I had not been able to really go to my mom's gravesite. She's down there, and so that's where I am, and that's where I'm staying. I am working on my situation, and, you know, I had written this massive book about Jesus and this huge testimony he gave me, and it was published soon before all of this came about. So here I am, and trying to present my work to other networks and people, you know, in the business, and also my music. And I'm just praying that God will show me what his desire is for my life at this point. I spent a lot of my life looking after others, my mother mainly, and trying to protect her from things that happened. So there's a whole huge story, but it's kind of personal, and I don't want to go into all of it. But I'm just noticing how ridiculous these grocery prices are. And of course, they're going to price everybody out of being able to have a Thanksgiving dinner. Something needs to change. Congress needs to act. Congress needs to reduce the food prices and the housing prices. And let me just speak for someone who lived in a beautiful home at, you know, my mother had the home all paid off, no mortgage anymore. And of course, when she died, I would have liked to have kept it in the family. I would have liked to have been able to buy it out, but I didn't have the money to do it. Isn't that crazy? So I wound up here, and I cannot decorate our table for Thanksgiving like I did. I cannot make a turkey dinner. I don't have an oven to be able to do this. And, you know, these are just some of the things I'm dealing with. So I'm not, you know, I know a lot of people don't have sympathy for people at all. So they think you're just a whiner or whatever, but these circumstances could happen to you. You could be living in your home and everything would be all wonderful, and you'd never imagine that one day the enemy could just plow under you. And I don't know where things go from here, but, you know, people on my channel, they have not known the full story about, you know, what's really happened, and also just what I've been working on to try to further or, you know, get out of this situation that I did not put myself in. You know, I was with my mom. She was handicapped, and, you know, I was taking care of her 24/7. I got diabetes right about that time, and things started getting worse. So basically, almost the whole time I've been here at the hotel, I have huge bouts of illness due to the diabetes, and I have the severe neuropathy in my feet and toes, which I cannot feel. And they're very, very painful because, you know, you can feel the damaged nerves. So anyway, I've researched all of this, so I'm not asking for tons of advice about it or anything, because I am taking some stuff and was seeing a specialist through Medicaid. So anyway, I just wondered how the prices were going for you out there, and hope that you're doing better than how things are out here. I've thought about leaving the state. I've thought about, you know, what do I do now? Where do I go now? You know, it's strange because, you know, when you're in a hotel, usually you can leave the hotel and go home, you know, at some point. But when you're in this situation, you realize that if you leave the hotel, the only place you can go to is another hotel, you know, because you don't have a home to go to. So it's the craziest situation ever. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And, you know, for people to promise you things or say they're going to do something and they renege. That makes it even worse, you know, and they don't understand, you know, well, okay, so, you know, there's donations on my channel and everything, and there's only a little bit you can save, and then it goes right out to all of this expense that's going on to try to help. But there's only like 5 people who regularly are the same people who ever give on my channel. And that's just the truth. So I'm very thankful to them, because a couple of them have saved my hide from just having to be in my car or something crazy. God forbid it ever gets to that. A couple of times I was extremely close. And anyway, I just wanted to express a couple of these things. This is my situation. You know, when you have a parent that you dearly love that was there with you one minute and they're dead the next, you go into sort of like a shock, freeze, grief mode, and you're trying to figure things out. And, you know, I was taking care of my mom, and I only had just published my book a little while before that, so I was trying to get that off the ground and trying to get things going. So I'm still working on things and trying to get doors to open, of course. So if there's anybody out there that does want to open a door, that would be nice in my field and what I'm doing. So God help me, God help you, and may God stop this greedy world from preventing people from having food and homes. And like I was going to say, people do not want a little shanty shack to live in. They always, you know, when there's people living in tents, people living on the street, they always think that the answer is some little tiny home. Well, this is kind of the New World Order idea, where you will basically not have a beautiful home, not have a lawn, not have acreage, not have land. You would have nothing and be so happy. Well, what we should do is we should plunder the billionaire that is robbing people. There's several of them. And allow people to have just regular single-family homes. Because that's what people really dream of. You know, some people want a smaller place that they don't have to maintain when they get older and all. Anyway, I just wanted to share a few of these thoughts and everything, and just let you know how high the prices are. Some of the meat I saw today, you could get 3 steaks for something like $43, or it was just crazy, you know. It would be nice to be able to buy some meat and beef. So anyway, I'm suddenly getting bombarded with YouTube pop-ups. I'll let you go for now, but just wondered how things were with prices in your neck of the woods. This is just so crazy, y'all. I'll talk to you later.